it's really easy to get a negative portrayal of it at first just because of the sort of box that our culture puts it in.
I first heard it with the word dyke in conjunction with the word Nazi.
Man-hating, a controversial term.
Some sort of political joke on the internet?
Something I associated with a radical term.
As a way to insult people.
I had the impression it was just old and stale.
A woman who doesn't have a bra on, screaming, yelling, "I hate men."
That it was a movement for women exclusively, and that it privileged women at the expense of men.
Didn't want to associate with it.
We did it, that's it.
It's not just about like women, you know?
I think our society could greatly benefit from just a more clear understanding of what feminism is and what the true goals of feminism are, which is just attaining equality.
College was the first time I really understood what it meant.
I took Intro to Women's and Gender Studies.
History class with Mary Wollstonecraft and John Stuart Mill.
I read the Da Vinci Code when I was in high school, and you know, it's so silly that like shocked my worldview so much. Found some material on the slut walks in Toronto, and I was really interested in what was happening there because it was so radical.
We all read Jessica Valenti.
On Tumblr, at first I thought it was kind of crazy, and then I did a little more research, and everyone defines feminism differently, and that's kind of how I found my own definition of feminism.
I heard a girl in my class say, "I'm the farthest thing from a feminist, but," and that kind of made me question what the word really meant.
I found it through people who I really related to and really admired, and admired their willingness to challenge traditional power structures. It's so important to someone whose opinion I value so much.
One of my really good friends, her influencing me to realize like these are things that you need to realize are also happening in the society that we live in. For you to stand up for yourself. Instances where like I feel a certain way about something, but I never knew like that's like I was a feminist because of that. I found the need for it a lot in college, and just finding myself really and what I stand for and who I want to become.
I use feminism in everything I do.
Most of my friends are girls, and feminism helps me to treat them better, to challenge my own views, and in terms of how do I look at the world, how do I look at other people, how do I treat other people.
As a platform for discussion.
Feminism's helped me articulate things that I've been feeling for a while. It taught me to be a much more socially conscious person.
It's helped me just become more confident and overall, because I realized like I don't have to be quiet in class.
It happens in the little things that I do. The confidence I have in my daily life, the way that I really admire the women in my life.
I don't have to stand for the double standard in anything.
It's really helped me to come to terms with who I am as a human being, and not just in my relationship with women, but sort of the discussion of gender roles in general and how they affect people.
It also helps me to understand why I behave differently when I'm among boys or when I'm among girls.
To understand my parents' behavior, because they're very much influenced by the gender roles of their culture and their generation.
Helped me be able to engage in a conversation on these inequalities and start to understand them a little more.
Challenge the ideas that I'm stuck to these gender roles, that I need to always sit with my legs crossed, that I need to marry a man, that I need to have kids in order to be a real woman.
Feminism has just fundamentally taught me to question you know, the discrepancies and injustices that I see in the world.
To help me understand the way media tries to sell me things.
It's about equality and about developing understanding.
I think it's helping me find myself, really.
I need feminism so that I can embrace my gender but not be constrained by it.
Feminism is something that men need.
Everyone needs feminism. Change the world, really. I need feminism because I still feel uncomfortable when people challenge gender roles, and I really want to overcome that discomfort.
It gives me the vocabulary to explain the things that I already observe about my world.
I need it to challenge normative masculinity. You're sort of expected sometimes to like go along with pseudo-sexist behavior, and it's annoying.
Because people still think rape is funny.
Men and women should be equal.
I realize that I don't have to live up to anybody else's box of what it means to be a man, and nobody should have to live up to anybody else's box of what it means to be a woman either.
I want to be recognized as a woman, but I also want to be recognized as a Korean American woman. I really think that those are all important components of who I am.
Later on, I don't want my daughter to think that she can't do a certain thing or say something because she's a girl.
When I was in middle school, I thought your social standing was entirely dependent on whether or not you had a boyfriend or girlfriend.
Some people say women are just complaining when they're fighting for their rights.
To be able to say, like, I can do whatever I want and I don't care what anybody else says.
Discussion is a form of activism within feminism. It's really just helped me structure like what I think I should be doing with my life.
And keeps me in check at the same time. And is unflinching in its criticism of me, but is also unflinching in its empowerment of me.
People are like, you're a feminist? And it's like, is that like a bad thing to like want social economic equality for all of us, you know? For me not to be judged for wanting the same benefits that you have.
I began to see that it was really about equality, and at that point I thought it was kind of hilariously stupid not to define myself as a feminist.
It's about developing a sense of we.
More people need to be aware of what it actually means and not be so closed-minded to the word.
We all need feminism.
Maybe this feminist thing isn't so crazy after all.
I challenge you.
I challenge you. I challenge you
I challenge you
to stand up for women and their rights, even if you don't want to call yourself a feminist.
You should just be more involved.
Go to a drag show and see how people can defy gender roles.
Take a women's and gender studies course.
Take a course that's outside of your major field and outside of what you think your interests might be.
To do research before you form an opinion.
To not turn a blind eye to the sheer amount of sexual assault that's in the world around us.
to withhold from the peer pressure and only do what you feel comfortable with in situations that you feel comfortable.
Challenge the notion that feminists are ugly, man-hating hags.
To challenge people in your life who use feminism negatively.
To not laugh at people's stupid jokes when they offend you.
To see yourself on the same platform as male students and to challenge them to see you as equal as well.
I challenge you to spread the word about feminism.